Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Sophia Lucia Parola, your host. It is the 22nd annual Garden State Film Festival this year, 2024. We have 200 films, various types of films, features, shorts, animations, music videos, you name it, coming from 14 different countries. It will be playing in Asbury Park, New Jersey and Cranford, New Jersey. And one of the films you can check out is a homegrown short film called Missing Her. Here to talk with me about this film are these wonderful artists who were involved in making it. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me and congratulations on your acceptance.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's
Of
a
course.
pleasure.
I was telling them before we started this live, but guys, I love this film. It is so good. I'm really excited to talk to them all about it. But before we get into it, how about we all introduce ourselves and our titles or title in the film? Take it away, Mike.
Yeah, I'm Mike Jerby. I'm the executive producer, writer, and one of the actors in the film.
Wonderful. Thank you. And Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl Scheffelman. I am a director and I was hired by Mike to direct the film. I'm also writing and directing my own projects as well.
Amazing. And Lena?
Hi, I'm Lena Josephine Morano, and I'm one of the actors in the film.
Thank you. And last but not least,
I think I'm still. Oh, I'm on. Okay, so I'm Leland Crane. I'm the cinematographer of the film, and I think I was actually the first one to get involved with Mike early on.
oh,
Yep.
well, I definitely have lots of questions for each and every one of you. But Mike, can you tell our audiences a little bit about Missing Her first?
Yeah. So it's let's just say a different or shall we say quirky short film about grief and letting go and the struggle. That an internal struggle basically of how to do that. And so there's two parts, two main parts to the short film, and so you have something more of an internal storyline, and then you have a more interpersonal one at the second half.
I mean, wonderfully said. I think this is such a quirky, funny, interesting way to talk about grief and mourning. And I was just so blown away by it and everyone's performances and all the elements of this film. You mentioned, Leland, that you were one of the first to join the project. I'm wondering, yeah, what attracted you to be the DP in this film?
Right. So what's interesting is that Mike approached me with the project about 8 months before we started production, and he wanted to just make it very, very low budget. Although it was very low budget, he wanted to just go out and do it just me and him and a very small crew. And I said, you know what? This script is too good for us to just do it you and me. Let's find a real producer. Let's find a real director, and let's make it as good as we possibly can. And he decided to take his time, find Carl, and who was our producer, and made it happen on a much better scale, I think, than it could have been done originally.
I'm glad you guys went with that choice. And speaking of finding Carl as the director, Carl, have you ever directed a story like this? And why did you want to direct it?
Well, the films I make have some similarity. I like quirkiness, I guess. I like, as much or more visual storytelling as dialogue. So Michael put a post on Facebook, on a Facebook page, a New York Filmmaker Facebook page, saying, I need crew and I need a director. So I submitted my work and he chose me. And I was really thrilled because the film was just that. It was a a film that needed to be told very visually. Things are left mysterious, not necessarily explaining everything of what's going on, including the sort of invisible authoritarian entities that are terrorizing the main character, as you'll see in the first part of the film. And then it just had a beautiful little story and dialogue and characters with the young girl played by Lena, and the sort of sarcastic inspector who is antagonist, and I really dug it. It was really my style.
You mentioned Lena. I am a huge fan of this young actress right here. It is not the first time I saw her in a Garden State Film Festival screening. So, Lena, how did you hop on this project? And I know from the last film I saw you, you're always in these like really unique, quirky, little dark stories. Are these like usual roles for you?
Yeah, I do find myself getting a lot of like either horror or like darker idea films or animated shows or stuff like that. I think the last thing you saw me for was for Daddy's Night, and that's definitely the
Yeah.
horror comedy. And I like that it's this film is n- definitely not exactly like it, but it still has that dark element that I really love to it. And again, the quirkiness of it just makes it really good.
So this was definitely a role that you saw and knew you could find you could play.
Yeah.
What about that character was like, all right, this is something I want to sink my teeth into?
Yeah. So the character I play, she lost one of her relatives and she's there at the beach trying to do her mourning. And the and then he meets this random guy and then she's like, I'll help you with this, because she knows that it's hard, and she knows that like this whole like rule about you only have like a specific time or place to mourn, she knows that that's just a weird way to deal with stuff.
So yeah, I definitely think that like she has a strong voice and she's very confident in who she is. I kind of, yeah, just a bold character, and I think you're so wonderful to play that. Mike, you wrote this film. What was the inspiration for writing it and writing these characters that we see?
Well, it was the pandemic, and like everybody else, I was frustrated and going a little stir crazy because not working. And I realized I have to start, writing. I need to create my own work. So a teacher told me, write what you know. And so I had a couple ideas, but this one I knew, and it was a scary. I'm not going to lie, it was a little bit scary to write about because I lost someone, and I've lost other people before, but this one hurt. This one was deep, and so this character just came out of nowhere for me. And so I started it from there, from the character itself, and it just kind of it took a while to write the script. I just let it stick around and made some changes to it here and there. But that was pretty much the inspiration, was a personal tragedy that kind of led to this kind of creative expression.
Thank you for sharing. I'm sorry to hear that. I also lost someone so close to me, and I think that's one of the reasons I love this film. Even though I think whoever, even if no one has, they can enjoy this film too.
Yeah.
So thank you for writing something that you know and so personal, and helping other people who get to watch this too. We mentioned earlier in this interview that so much of the story is told visually, and I think the shots are so important and they are just so beautifully composed. I love the DP work you do in this, Leland. Can you guys talk to me about finding these shots and how, yeah, what was it like filming this, Leland?
Oh,
First is about the shots. Really, it is all Carl, because Carl's a storyboard artist and he works with some very established directors and TV shows. And he came to me with the storyboards. So for my part of it was so much easier than it ordinarily is, because we could go right to the finer points of those shots. We could determine more of the lighting, more of the camera movement, and it was just following the plan. And that was really much easier to execute. The only other thing I wanted to say was I was really honored by this production, because I wound up getting involved in another shoot, a Hallmark movie that kept getting pushed, and there were conflicts, and they waited for me to shoot the movie, and I was really honored that they did that. So I just want to thank them for keeping me involved, because they really didn't have to, and I was really appreciated being able to be there.
Oh, you were stuck with us. Yeah.
Yeah.
We weren't letting you go, brother.
No.
We were like, no way. I don't want to talk to anybody else. This
Yeah.
is the guy that we need because
Yep.
Leland is. Am I on?
Yeah.
Oh, Leland is. We developed a very good DP director relationship. He's not only fast. He's two of the three of the creative triangle. He's fast and good. And we really worked well together. He brought in some terrific ideas, lens wise and mood wise, and positioning of character wise. But yeah, I mean, I like to storyboard and pre-plan as much as possible. Some people do it, some don't. I thought, especially for this film, it needs to be pre-planned. We got a lot to shoot in 2 days. We got 2 locations. We got difficult locations like the beach. And so I wanted to just have it planned out so that I could work with the actors. Because to me, if I'm not present with the actors, then I'm not directing. So, and I do want to talk briefly about the casting. We did have we had a great casting director, Paul Russell from New Jersey. He's also from New Jersey. He did a really good job on no budget, and it was really a pleasure to find the young actor or actress. And we had a number of great young actors to choose from, and we whittled it down to 2. But I think it was a very quick, unanimous decision that Lena, by far, really grokked the story. If that's the word.
How many actors did you guys go through?
We for the child actor, I would say at least a dozen. And I mean, on a small budget film, that's quite a bit. And
I mean, did we actually auditioned that many?
We had a bunch of auditions sent to us, and then we auditioned a number of those. I think probably, I don't know, close to 10, but it was very quickly whittled down. And the thing that Lena brought was, because child actors, a lot of them are a little bit overly coached sometimes, and they act. Lena was just
present,
real.
Yeah,
she was real. She was non-acting.
Well, what was interesting is because the other actors too, they just happen to be friends, Lena and Rachel,
right?
And Rachel did a great job. I mean, she was really good. She got me laughing in that audition.
Yeah.
And then Lena came in and just blew it out the water. I mean, she changed the room on a Zoom audition.
Yeah.
And as an actor, when I feel that, and I knew, she got off the call and we're like, yep, we found her.
Yep.
That's it.
Lena, can you tell us a little bit about, not the whole thing, because I know you never ask for an actor's process really, because it's different for each role, and it's very extensive. But what about playing Josephine? Was your character, right? Mm-hmm. What about playing Josephine was important? How did you really ground yourself into this character?
Well, whenever you're playing a character, I feel like it's really important to connect the character to things you've gone or seen people go through. And I feel like it's really important to match the emotion and not just copy what the character is, because it might seem really similar, but to me, there's a big difference in copying and just connecting. Mm-hmm. And for Josephine's character, I feel like she's funny and she is a little bit sarcastic, but also there's a place in her that just isn't that. Like, she lives in a world where there's these weird rules, and her relative died and she has to mourn in this specific time and place, and there's always time for her to try to cheer things up, but there's still that pit in her that it's not the best.
Yeah, I mean, you really channeled that brokenness well, but in a real way, in a real grounded way. So well done. I agree with everyone's huge compliments. We're running out of time, but I really want to hear from you, Carl. I mean, you're an award-winning director. You've made shorts, features. What about directing have you learned in your career that other people can take? And specifically, what about directing this film was really important?
Well, for me, the way I work is kind of what I said. Get the technical stuff out of the way. Get it prepared for. There may be some directors that like to figure out where they're putting the camera, right on the spot. Depends on the kind of movie. But for me, get all that stuff done, and that visual part to me is easier because I came up as a visual artist. But what I've learned the most about is working with actors and really communicating with them. And I took some acting classes myself, not as a director, but as an actor, just to see what it was like. And really, I've read the books. Always give actors actable directions. Don't give them like be madder or be funnier or cry more. Always give them an active action, like seduce him or push him away or whatever. And so that's to me has been the biggest pleasure of learning experience, because my day job as a storyboard artist, I know how to shoot a film, I know where to put the camera, but the directing and working with actors and auditioning them, and Lena was so mature. Like, what were you, 9 when you did this?
Yeah, actually, I think we filmed it on my birthday, so
Yes.
I just turned 9.
I remember I gave you a cupcake or something on the beach.
Oh, yeah.
During rehearsal, yeah. But really, like, I mean, the character was supposed to be an old soul, and I think Lena is that, and it worked out great. So I don't know if I answered your question.
Oh,
but
you absolutely did.
Yeah.
Specific to this film, what you did, but also just there was a lot of advice in there that I think any filmmaker or directors can take. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're running out of time. We're basically out of time. I could talk to you guys all day.
Yeah.
I have so much more questions, but hopefully I run into you at Garden State Film Festival and I'll bombard you then. But I do want to ask one more thing for Mike. How does it feel having Missing Her screen at Garden State Film Festival, and what do you hope our audiences get from watching this?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's an honor, first and foremost, because it's right in our backyard. We filmed at Sandy Hook, basically right down the street, and so it's it's just really nice to share it around with the people that I live nearby. Well, I'm in Hoboken, but I don't know. I hope that, when you watch something, you always want to see something a little different, especially when it's about a deeper subject like that. And I don't know. I just kind of hope that it connects, that resonates a little bit. That's all you can really hope for. And maybe they get a little laugh out of it, or whatever. But just to I don't know, remind you of what's good and special about your own life and what's going on now.
I love that. Thank you. And you're right. I mean, I think people say like, oh, every story's been told, but it's really the way you tell it that's important. And this story was told in such a quirky, funny, unique way by amazing actors and amazing artists. Thanks to you all. Congratulations. Oh, shout out to your composer too. He didn't join our call, and Jennifer, who we know at Garden State Film Festival too, who produced this. But Giovanni, the music in this was gorgeous. It really drive the film. So shout out to everybody. So I could sing praises all day. But let me tell everyone watching. Sorry, Carl, did you want to say something?
Well, Jen Plotsky, our producer, was just a selfless workhorse. I mean, she had minimal crew to work with, or support to work with, and she pulled it together at the last minute. It was pretty.
Yeah, I gotta say that everyone on the crew, there wasn't one person that wasn't an all-star.
Yeah, Leland's crew was great.
Everybody, even down to the PA, that we found. I mean, Paul, like Carl mentioned, our casting director, he worked his tail off, and he was able to find really good actors. Our crew, we did so many different setups. Oh my gosh, for the house, and it was just so efficient. Everybody was professional, and we had a challenge. We had some challenges there too with the homeowner. But yeah, I just can't say, I cannot commend the crew and the cast enough. Everyone was just brilliant.
Completely agree. And I mean, watching this film and then hearing about it, low budget, 2 day shoot, it adds how powerful this is. So,
Yeah.
so amazing. Let me tell everyone watching how you can see Missing Her. It will be screening Saturday, March 23rd, 2024 in the Film Block, 9 p.m. to 10:45 p.m. at Berkeley Hotel. Will most of you be there, or am I going to see any be there?
Yep. I'll be there.
Amazing. Amazing, guys. Thank you again. Congratulations. Everybody get your tickets at gsff.org/tickets. Come see Missing Her. And I'll see you guys at the film festival. Thanks again.
Thank you, Sophia.
Okay. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Lena. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.